you today and how was your weekend? I hope you had a very great one. It's another week, and we hope that the week is going to be a great one for every one of us. And we have our lessons again today. It's math lesson. We're going to an entirely different lesson this week. Last week we looked at time and I saw your homeworks. It was very great. Now we're looking at another lesson, lesson 12 and unit 1. So get all that you need together, your student book, your notebook, your workbook, pencils, and all that you need, and let's start the lesson. Residence is perimeter and area. I know you've done much of this in previous classes, but let's have a review on perimeter and area. At the end of the lesson, we must be able to calculate the area, perimeter of squares, rectangles, and shapes that can be split into rectangles. What is a perimeter? And what is area? Can you still remember? Okay, let's have a review on it. A perimeter measures all the distance outside a shape. It could be a 2D shape. So a perimeter measures all the distance all the way around a 2D shape. Remember, it measures outside, okay? And perimeter is measured in centimeter or in meter. Now, what is the difference with area? The second definition has both area and perimeter, but we will focus on area since we now know what perimeter is. Area is a measurement of the space inside a shape. Inside a shape. Do you see that area is the opposite of perimeter? Perimeter measures outside all the way, and area measures all the space inside a shape, a rectangle, a square, or probably a triangle, or even a trapezium, or any shape we're asked to find the area. And remember, area is measured in square centimeter, square meter, or square kilometer, as the case may be. Okay, so when you write your answer in area, please make sure you do not forget to put the square, that's the 2 at the top. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now let's compare perimeter and area looking at two different shapes, square and rectangle. We're going to look at the perimeter of a square and the perimeter of a rectangle. We'll equally look at the area of a square and the area of a rectangle. First, let's look at the perimeter of a square. The square is the one in the first column, the rectangle is underneath, and then that's for perimeter, and for the area we have it in the second column. But let's look at perimeter for square first. Remember when we did polygons? Remember what we said about a square? The properties of the shape. We said it has all equal sides, all angles are equal, and all the sides are the same. Opposite sides are equal as well. So it means when you have the length of one side of a square, it's easy to find the perimeter of the whole square. Now that we know that perimeters measures all the sides outside the shape, if for example the side or one side of this square is 4 centimeters, what will be the perimeter of the shape? Now we know that one side is 4 centimeters. So how do we find the perimeter? Since all sides are equal, to find the perimeter of a square will be that one side multiplied by 4. That one side multiplied by 4. Okay? So that is how we find the perimeter. Or, since we know that all the sides are the same, we write the same number for the rest of the sides, and then we add side plus side plus side plus side, which is equally the same as side times 4. What about if you were given the perimeter of the square and you do not know any of the sides? What would you do? For example, the perimeter of this square is 16 centimeters and a question comes up: find the sides. What would you do? Very easy. Now that you know that all the sides are the same and the total number of the sides, or the total measurement, is 16 centimeter, we simply divide 16 by 4 to know each of the side. I hope you understand that. Okay, now let's go to area of a square. Or before that, let's also look at the perimeter of a square, of a rectangle, pardon me. For a rectangle, it's a little bit different. Remember the properties of a rectangle: all sides are not the same, but opposite sides are the same. Can you see this well-labeled rectangle? We have the length up and down, and we have the width on the left and on the right. So, to find the area of this, or pardon me, the perimeter of this rectangle, we have to add all the sides. So that will be length plus width plus width. Now that we know that our lengths are the same, we can equally say 2 times length plus 2 times width. So let's have another example. If our length was 4 centimeter and our width was 2 centimeter, what will be the perimeter of this shape? What we simply do is 2 times 4, which is the length, plus 2 times 2, which is the width. 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 2 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. So the perimeter of this shape will be 12 centimeters. All right, what about if you were given only the length and not the width? For example, the length of this rectangle is 6 centimeters. And the question says the perimeter is 20. Now find the width. The length is, okay, we'll take the question again. The length is 8 centimeters. The width we do not know. And the perimeter is 20 centimeters. What do? We already know that length plus length has given us half of the answer already. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Now, the perimeter of the total shape is 20. So what do? We subtract 16 from the total of, that's the perimeter of the shape. So 20 minus 16 equals 4. What does that mean? We have found the width of 2 sides. But how do we give each of them their own number? We have to divide by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. What does that tell us? It means the length of this rectangle is 8 centimeter on the 2 sides. That's 8 centimeter each on the 2 sides. And the width is 2 centimeter each. Okay? Now let's look at area. The area for a square is not going to be an addition again, but will be multiplication. Side times side. So let's take the example of the 4 centimeter side. If one side is 4 centimeters, what is the area of the square? The area of a square will be 4 multiplied by 4, because 4 is one side and we know that we have 4 sides of a square. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16 square centimeter. Remember, this is area. Now, what about if it was not a square? if it was like a shape like a regular pentagon, a pentagon that has got all equal sides. A pentagon has 5 sides, right? Okay, if I said to you that the area of this pentagon is the area of the pentagon, that it's got 5 sides, the area of the pentagon is let's try to see. Okay, the area of the pentagon is 25 square centimeter. And I asked you, what is the side? Find the missing sides. What would you do? Knowing well that the pentagon has all equal sides, you divide the area, which is 25 square centimeter, by the number of sides of the pentagon, 5. What does that give us? 5 square centimeter for each side. Now, what I am trying to make you to understand really well is the side of one side of the square is the same as all others. So to find the area, we multiply one side by the side. Side times side. So if the side is 5 centimeter here, then to find the area, we'll multiply 5 by 4. 4 sides. So we have, pardon me please, we multiply 5 by 5, not by 4. Remember, all the sides are equal. So it means if one side is 5 centimeter, the other side is equally 5 centimeter. So, and it is side multiply by side. So 5 times 5 is 25. Okay? All right. Let's look also at the rectangle, the area of a rectangle. For the rectangle, it is simply length times width. Now take a look at the rectangle and look at where we have the length. Like I said earlier, the length is at the top and the bottom, and they're equal. The width is on the left and on the right, and they are equal. So to find the area of a rectangle is length times width. If the length of this rectangle now is 6 centimeter and the width is 4 centimeter, what is the area? The area is length times width. So that is 6 multiplied by 4, and our area will be 24 square centimeter. Do not forget that. All right, let's go on to the next.